we are going. It's the Going Live song. I'm waiting for people to come on in. I'm going to share this. I hope you guys are doing great today. If you're watching this at some point in the future, have a great day, because no one's in here now. So it's just you and me, Brandon. It's just us and people in the future. So my message for the people in the future is, just be grateful and create your own reality tunnel. And remember the answer to the universe.
There are police reported ahead.
So I'm in my car studio today. Apparently the answer to the universe is there are police reported ahead. So, it's always good to know that. Of course, I'm in my car studio. So, hello, officer. I'm gonna actually get some air because I'm stopped at a red light. This guy, I'm not worried about that officer, because this guy next to me is pulling some sweet moves. I thought he was gonna run that red light. Anyway, I'm just kidding. This is my car studio with AI, and we're in 2025 now. I thought we'd have flying cars by now. It's cool though, because at least I get to work at Stop and Shop once a week at the fucking register at the self-checkouts. I know you guys know I don't have Stop and Shops, but these self-checkouts, dude, it's great. It's like I get to work once a week and get yelled at. I always get yelled at by the self-checkouts. Like, it doesn't matter how fast I am, or whatever. It's just, you just get yelled at. I check in the chat. All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm back. I'm excited for today's podcast, today's live stream. Super excited, because I'm excited for every time I get to create and go live. I mean, it's just such a great thing that I could hit a button and look at this little black mirror. I mean, look at my awesome phone that I love so much. I can't live without it. My phone. You're my boy. Yeah, I'll get back to why it's so awesome, but I'm gonna diverge a little bit and talk about my phone, because twice this weekend I was doing gigs. I'm a DJ, and you guys probably all know this. I tell everybody I DJ a lot of weddings and corporate events, and twice my phone fell out of my pocket, and I was dancing voraciously. Guys, I think I figured out the secret to why I look like, I'm aging backwards over here in Connecticut, where everyone else is stressed out, and they're just like, ah! This is when you see people, they're like, and I'm just like, this is great, whatever's happening. I'm in traffic, I'm like, this is great. Not now, because, this is just a car studio. But generally when I'm in traffic, for real. What was I saying? Yeah, so I was talking about why it's a great time. Oh, my phone. See, this is why these broadcasts, these bodacious broadcasts are so bodacious, is because it's like practice. I gotta get my tobacco too. So, I lost my phone twice. It fell in my pocket twice because I was dancing so much. And I was really getting into it. It was during the Cupid Shuffle. Because sometimes, I don't listen to everybody. I've never really been a fan of pop music or of line dances. Like, when I say not a fan, that's just really a nice way to put it. But I see the appeal, why people like it, and it gets people out that sometimes wouldn't come on the dance floor because they're nervous or shy. And I'm like, why be nervous or shy? Everyone's looking at me. Look, I'm 6'5" and I look like this. Trust me, I realize I try to hide behind the DJ booth. I'm just... Anyway, it's kind of true, I guess. Yeah, so, I go out there and I'll do like the Cupid Shuffle. That's the one. It's easy to do. I can show people how to do it. I can have fun with the microphone and all that. So, toward the end, I'll go out there and show people, and then I get behind the DJ booth, and then there's a part where you gotta kick, and toward the end sometimes I kick my feet really hard. As you do when you get lost in joy. You know how it is being lost in joy, don't you? You should. Be like Bob Ross. So anyway, I kicked, lost phone. It was really funny the first night. The second night it fell, somebody found it right away, so I didn't even lose it. But hang on, let me hum a little for you. Once there was a man who podcast in a car studio. Anyway, when I first lost my phone, it was really weird. So I was like, where did my phone go? I thought it was in my pocket. And I've never really had my phone fall in my pocket like that. Just pants, I guess I had. I don't know. Anywho, so I was looking around. I went to the bar, asked them. And then on the way back, somebody was like, they tapped me and was like, is that your phone? And it was near where the DJ booth was, kind of behind it on the carpet. So anyway, but the reason I told that story is because when I went to the bar, the maitre d' was there, the bartender and someone else, and I'm like, I can't find my phone. I'm like, you know what, if I don't find this one, I'm like, maybe I just won't get another phone. Wouldn't that be great? And the looks on their faces, they were just like, what? Are you speaking like a different language? They just were not feeling it. But I mean, I guess I get it, you know? Because if you don't have a phone, it's like, in this day and age, but to me, it just feels so freeing. Maybe it's because I remember a time when you could just wander the open plains of this fucking country or any country you wanted without an electronic leash around you. It was so different. It was scary, you know, because if you broke down in the middle of nowhere, you were just on your own, but it was magical in a way too. We were just so closer to the people going out into the Oregon Trail. You know, I just felt the dysentery, you know, like I mean, just like I resonated. I didn't really have dysentery, but you know what I'm saying. You could just feel the oxen pulling your car when you didn't have a cell phone. But then, of course, you got to look at where you're thankful. It's not like I'm over here some Luddite, like, these phones are terrible. I'm just scatting, man. Because without these lovely phones, I wouldn't be able to make contact with all you people. There's a cat bed on the side of their check. There's a free cat bed in the rain. It's all clean now. Should I, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I think that I just lost my train of thought again. Yeah, no, but of course I wouldn't be able to broadcast and conduct a business I do and keep in touch. But so I think there's a good balance, and I'm trying to achieve that. I really haven't been on social media, you know, and I think it was Family Guy watching an episode of or something, and like, yeah, you know, it's a real, like, you know, you can't really take a social media unless you announce it or whatever. So of course, yeah, I just took a break. I didn't mean to. I just couldn't go on social media. I guess that's a social media break. Every time I opened it, I was just like, I gotta do something else. I don't know. I wasn't even like judging people. Like, it's not even like I opened it was like, ugh. I was just like, my brain. It's similar to what happened to me when I started. When I stopped watching TV a lot for the first time, when I really was like, fuck TV. Now I'm back to a better balance with, or whatever. I just found a balance for myself, I should say. You know, TV is one of those things I don't try to give anyone advice. I will watch it. Maybe you want to watch it more. What's another word presently? If you want to watch it more consciously, I guess I could say.
There's a lane closure ahead.
You guys heard it here. See, I programmed my car studio to randomly make it seem like I'm really in a car. So, yeah, I'm just going to say his name. Tony! Where are you, Tony? He'll be here in a minute. In the chat. Yeah, so anyway, it's about a balance, I think, with the cell phones and the social media. Yeah, so if you're going to watch TV, I would say try not to identify with the characters. Just sit back, watch it consciously, watch it as a story, watch it as a parable. You know, what can I learn? Just pretend. You don't have to pretend. I mean, could it be that God made that show through whoever person thought they were making that show? This guy's merging into my car studio right now. No, thank you, sir. See, I make it realistic. It's like you know, it's just like a simulation for me too. In the fact, so this way I have to focus on what I'm doing and here. But luckily, there's no real consequences because it's just like a simulation, you know. So the consequences, especially because we're in a spiritual realm, you know, God, I'm just doing the will of God at this point is all I can say. Like, everything I do was ordained by God, so how could I even get arrested or a ticket, you know? It's that might be a funny premise, you know? It's like if there's a separation of church and state, right? And my belief is that everything I'm willed to do or have a feeling to do is through the hands of God. Yeah, I see how that could really be a slippery slope for like serial killers and stuff. I get it, guys. I'm just working on a comedy skit, all right? Everyone's got to take it to the worst extreme. What does that say about you that you have to take that to the worst extreme person who's listening to this, who thought immediately that there's like, oh yeah, they can just do whatever they want and say God told them to do it. But, let's not talk about the worst extreme though, because I'm not really advocating to enforce this. I'm just working on a comedy skit here. How dare you judge me? So think about it. If God created everything, hang on, I need some time back. This broadcast is unwittingly and unknowingly brought to you by the amazing folks at Leaf Only. They don't support or know anything that I talk about. They just sell me these leads. They don't even give them to me yet. I just like to say their name. So remember, everybody, when you think of delicious tobacco, think of Leaf Only. If someone says the moon is made out of cheese, just think of Brandon's Bodacious broadcast. Brandon Bonanza's Bodacious broadcast. Because I believe the moon's made out of cheese. I'm not making any other claims for anyone else. I can't say I fully believe it. When you do a podcast at the Dow and you break it all down, like we did on the Oversharing show, you'll go check that out, everybody. It has its own playlist on this channel, the Oversharing Dow series. When you read through it and break it down and really start to incorporate it in your own life, you get to see that. I don't know. I hope that it just said I'm live. Does that mean that did you guys miss the last part? There's someone in the chat. If you're a chatter, can you chat and tell me if you lost me for a minute? Anyway, basically what I was saying was, is there evil? Is there right and wrong? And these are we broke down the Tao and breaking down other religious or spiritual or what have you texts that have survived the ages. And it seems that the way we can communicate it, or I can communicate it to you, is that there's a way of looking at it where could it be that there is no evil in the way you look at it here in the physical? And that's the other way, right? Which is the physical way to look at it, where evil's a thing, you don't want to do it, you want to try to be good or all this stuff, or stop evil, but now in the spiritual, because could it be that everything you zoom into with a very powerful electron microscope, you'll just see things dancing around, man. Just like me at a wedding. They're just particles, and even the particles are made out of things dancing around. I don't know how it works, all right? I don't have the time to go down those rabbit holes. But people assure me, so if that's the case and they're right, see how I do this? If that's the case and they're right, I'm not making claims, I don't know. We're just presupposing based on what these people said. Anyway, if that's the case, then there's no solid matter you can point to in that way. It's just an illusion we're having. But according to the rules of this illusion, of this Maya, if you will, according to the Buddhists, of this dream we're having, of the spiritual material everything's made of these dancing particles that scientists with their very powerful electronic microscopes will tell you about. Could it just be a different way of saying it, right? So looking at it from that view, so it would kind of be like from the view of God, of the creator himself, which I'm not trying to make the claim that I am God. We just look at ourselves look at myself. I keep saying we because I'm used to doing the Oversharing show. Check out the Oversharing show, everyone. It's fun, especially if you like my voice, because it gets complimented in that show and we talk about a lot of cool things. Anywho, if that's the case, spiritual, you're looking at it, okay, God, there we go. I had to fast forward in my mind. So we're aspects of God in a way where we're like characters in a story. So we're like Frodo, we're not Tolkien, we're just like Frodo, but we're part of Tolkien. Think about it that way. So anyway, from the view of Tolkien, everything's gonna work out, even when Gollum's going crazy and everything looks so bad, and Gandalf the Grey just died in a fucking pit. It's terrible, and everyone's like, this is evil. The characters are crying. But us and Tolkien, us as the viewer, somebody's, especially once you've seen the whole thing or read the book, once you've read it all and you know the ending, then you know that it doesn't really matter. It all works out in the end. It was all meant to be that way. And that's what we're talking about. And it really is just about inside how you feel. Because trust me when I tell you, hey, I'm not telling you what to say, but I'll just say my experiences when I've talked to people about this stuff, when they're not ready to hear it, truth is very offensive. And they don't want to hear that everything's perfect and that, their relative that just died is meant to be that way. It's not, and I'm sure when it happens to me, I don't want to hear that either. So that's why we just feel, or I feel that way on the inside. I don't feel like a victim when something happens. And I don't have to share my opinion with everyone, but my vibration is enough, my, just presence is enough. And that I don't have to engage in the low vibrational, conversation or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with melancholy or mourning or being sad. Anyway, you got to feel your feelings, right? That's what I'm trying to say. There's so many things you have to say when you say these things because it sounds so confusing. It's like the English language was like set up to be confusing on purpose or something. Isn't that crazy? Maybe we should speak in Sprachen in a different language that's a little clearer. I don't know. I don't know German, but anyway, it's cool. We can use English. It's fun. That's what makes long, interesting, crazy podcasts. And I'm over here all over the place doing my best to keep your attention locked and focused on my crazy antics. You never know what I'm going to see in my car studio. It's going to make me talk about something nuts. Anyway. So getting back to why I'm excited about today's podcast. I've already been going for about 16 minutes. Let's have a coffee sip. I don't usually have a quote. When I do these, I have some sort of quote that I will say from somebody, but today I'm going to quote myself. I've been quoting myself this whole podcast, everybody. No, I'm just going to read. I'm going to say, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to make noises with my mouth that you're going to interpret as a poem that I wrote. About it before. I really think it's fun. I've been writing rap songs, I guess you could call them. I'd call them poetry, but my wife is a poet. I don't want to infringe on a territory. I like to rap and sing anyway. Like, I honestly, I could, any pretty much like Public Enemy or Snoop Dogg or Biggie or all these rap, I could pretty much rap, not all of their songs, but a lot of their songs. And, not word for word, but pretty close. So I'm thinking that I could at least, do some fun Snoop songs. And then I got to make some of my own original ones. And then I can have a concert. Wouldn't that be cool to have a Brandon rap concert? You guys would be fucking blown. You'd be like, wait, you can do that? Because I forgot. I've had these things I do. Like, I've been listening to Public Enemy since I was like 12 or whatever, And of course, my views on the world have changed, but I really like what they have to say a lot of times because they're just really talking about wanting to be free, everybody wants to be free. I just look at it as like mental freedom. I'm like, dude, the shackles are in your mind. You can just take them off and you can just take them off and go to the beach, and then you're free. You don't have to do a rap song about it. I'm glad you did. Tony, you're here. I summoned you. I knew you'd be here. What's up, Tony? It's always good to have somebody here in the chat with me. I had a few people pop in and out, and I get it, Who am I? There's a lot of other things you could be giving your attention to. There's Dune. You could be reading Dune right now. Anyway, what's up, Tony? How you doing today? I'm just talking about, I was talking about rap and how I could be a rapper or, maybe even a singer. And let me tell you, there's been some revelations in my life. I've talked about it on past podcasts. I don't want to make this podcast all about it, but concerns things about my family, I guess. My family's great, by the way. There's no problems there. I'm just my own things I had questions about were answered. And, since then, I'll just say I've been able to be in touch with my feelings more, I feel like. And it's brought a new depth to my singing almost. Like, I sing a lot. Strumming my pain with her fingers. My voice is a little shot today. I DJ'd 3 weddings. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, I emceed, so I was the microphone man, and I was DJing. Saturday, actually, I was by myself, so I did it all on Saturday. Friday, I had a guy who was like DJing, but, we take turns. And then Sunday night, I was the DJ. There's another guy emceeing, but it was still very high energy. And you think it was a Sunday, But these people were treating it like a destination wedding. It was here on the beach, a lovely spot here, really beautiful. And it was like till 11:30, so they partied hard. It was great. And I don't drink or anything when I DJ, so it's not like I have that. But I dance like the whole time, or I'm walking around. I mean, I have a little stool that I sit on. Stoolie, this is my boy. You know, if Tom Hanks could have Wilson, I could have fucking Stoolie. You know what I mean? Why not? I just gotta check something really quick. Anyway, it might have cut me off for a second. So what I'm saying is my voice is a little shot, so I can't really sing. Because I also on the way to gigs. I'm on the way. Could it be in my car studio that I have a gig? I'll just say there's a gig today that I have to be at. What time is it? You get it. Anyway, so it's the summer, full swing, guys. It's crazy, dude. Another thing I want to talk about, how crazy life is, like, because this winter, and this is things I don't really talk about in the show, because when I do my show, I'm not like, especially the Oversharing show, we're not like begging for money and stuff. Like, we love people donate. They feel like it's worth their time and they want to donate. You know, it's cool because there's some expenses and stuff, whatever, but it's nothing nuts. It's like, you know, I pay for Canva, it's like $12 a month, and then once a year, Podbean is like, I charge, it's not even that bad, and then whatever, I'm out here talking about fans. Anyway, so the winter, for me though, financially, it was a little crazy, but I'm used to that. I've had that happen before, but I've been pretty good for the past few years. Since 2020, I've been good, but this last winter was I'll say a little lean, but made it through, and now this summer, it's so crazy. I feel like I'm in Boiler Room. You ever see a Boiler Room? It's just like, you know, I'm like, I forget that I have money now and I can buy things when I'm in stores. It's so funny. It's not like, we had enough to pay like rent and bills and have food and stuff. So that's why I never said anything. And I don't want people to feel bad and like have to donate, you know. But going forward, I do want to, I'll whore myself out in the Brandon Bonanza show. Guys, send me all your fucking money. You worthless pieces of shit. What are you doing at home? You have no self-worth unless you send me money. Sorry, that's what every other show sounds like. Guys, if you feel compelled, you can send it. If not, it's not a big deal. I do this for my sanity. So, you know, your witness is really all I need, honestly. I don't even need a witness. I don't care. That's what people like. It's kind of like comedy, right? When I do stand-up comedy. That was a pause for our homies. The ones who don't know me. No mo. Like when I'm on stage for comedy, right? Or when I'm doing this, when I first started doing this, or when I first started going live, and I thought all these people watch, especially during 2020, like, I have all this great information, you know, about what's going on. And that's all I'm going to say, YouTube. Don't worry, you can stop watching. You know, I'm like, I have all this great information, and I put it up, and sometimes I get views. I'm not over here like, I didn't get any views, but you know, sometimes you get like no views or no one, and I still wouldn't care. Like, I was just like, yeah, I'm fucking doing it. I was just happy that I got it together to get the shit done. That's what people don't realize, what goes on behind the scenes, man. Some people, like, I could just hit record and go, like, I have no problem there, but just with the setup and stuff. And then in the beginning, I mean, I have been podcasting since 2014, but when I wanted to start about when I wanted to start talking about things that meant stuff to me, like, you know, truth, or you know, like my book that I wrote, like shadow work, like working on myself and self-work, and what was going on in 2020, you know, sharing stuff about that. When I was doing that, I was more nervous, and it was a little, you know, I had to get shit together and get it figured out, and I had to look right and all this stuff. Now I'm like, I have my nice flowing beard. Dude, you know, I made friends with somebody yesterday at a convenience store because of his beard. It was great. I was next door getting some egg and cheese sandwiches from this awesome place where the people are from Yemen, and they're so cool, farm fresh food. And then their drink selection's kind of lacking though. It's cool. They're a little, you know, they have donuts and stuff, and egg and cheese. So I go next door to the convenience store, and I see another guy in there, and the lady's like, oh, I just put food out. I'm like, oh, I got food, you know, I just need a better drink selection. And the guy started laughing. He's like, oh, I hear that. And I'm like, yeah. And then I forgot what I said, but I was like, oh, nice beard, dude. You know, of course, I'm like, yeah, bro. I try to encourage the fucking masculinity out there, you know, when I see it. I'm like, yeah, he was definitely a blue collar. He had like the work, you know, he was a working man. which my lovely wife Elizabeth has pointed out how funny it is that if you're a working man, it's great, but if you're a working woman, there's a little question to that, right? You're like, wait, working woman? Right? Well, why is that? It's fucked, right? I'm painting food lines now. Foul lines. Oh, you're painting foul lines? Sweet, dude. You're fucking working. You're listening to me. I'm getting you through work. This is great. Or maybe you're just doing it for the hell of it, or as a volunteer, or whatever. You know what I mean? If you're doing it as a job, that's cool. I gotta. Anything you could trick people into giving you money for. That's why I say, like, you know, I do weddings, and there's always questions of like how much I get paid, and, you know, should I get paid more and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'll tell people, I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I'm tricking. I figured out a way to pay people. I mean, I'm sorry. I figured out a way for me to dance and play music and talk on a microphone, and then they pay me like enough where it's worth my time to drive an hour. You know, so. What am I gonna, I can't, you know, right there I'm fucking winning. What am I gonna do? Be like, I want 50 more of what you guys call American dollars, or 100, you know, and then God bless people, some of them tip. One of the weddings I did this weekend, two of the weddings, I made really good connections with the fathers of the bride, which is crazy concerning the news that I got recently that I'm not really gonna repeat concerning fathers in my life. I'll just say it that way. But anyway, one of them, they were about to cut the cake, and this is one where I was DJing, so the other guy was announcing it, and he was near the cake, and I noticed the father of the bride was on the dance floor. I'm like, dude. So I ran over, I'm like, your daughter's about to cut the cake. And he was like, thank you. And he gave me a $40 handshake. I was like, sweet. Fucking $40, dude. That's a good one. And then another one, at the end of the night, the father of the bride came over and gave me a nice handshake. I won't say how much it is. It was more than $40. And then the bride and groom gave me a card, which also contained what you guys call American currency. So it's nice. So, you know, don't, whatever, send me money if you want. I don't know. I'm sending really mixed signals, everybody. That's what I do. Really what I want you to do is give me your attention. Hit that thumbs up. I only see one thumbs up, and that's not even mine. It's probably Tony. Whatever. I don't care if you guys do that or not. I just like for a place to come and talk. Because what you guys don't understand, see, you come here voluntarily and you're like, cool, let's see what Brandon's up to, what wackiness he has in his life. But there's sometimes people who are in my life that don't have a choice and they just have to listen to me. You know, like people I work with. No, I'm pretty good. I usually don't go, I don't go too crazy. That's why I have this show. That's the way I look at it. But, yeah, what was I talking about before the whole DJ thing? It's really about, I didn't even really have a reason to go live today. That's the funny thing. I just try to trick people into it. That's right. I was going to read my poem. That's where I was. My voice is going in and out. It's great. It cracked the other day, but it was after. It was 2 weeks ago, but it was after. Like, I was talking to somebody after I did the introduction and stuff, right? You know, fun. I'm like, all right, everybody, here you go, you know. And later I was talking to somebody setting up we were setting up one of the toasts, and I was speaking to one of the future toasters, and they were about to toast the lovely bride and groom, and I was like, hi, you need... No, it wasn't that bad, but it was a nice crack. I was like, yep, there it is. Because I can go low. I mean, I can go high. I can go low. I can go everywhere we want to go. What's up, bro? Tim, crypto videos. I can't really read what that said. What's up? Welcome. Thank you. I can't exactly see your name. What's going on? Welcome. I hope you're having a great day. There's currently 3 people here watching. When 2 or more are gathered in my name, guys, I look like I died for your sins. There's nothing I can do. I fucking woke up like this. You don't understand it. Look on my Instagram. Go to @Brandon_Bonanza on Instagram. I'm never on there, but go look at all my pictures from what I used to look like, and then I just woke up like this one day. It's like the Santa Claus. It's the Jesus Claus. The Jesus Claus, because it happened to me when I was in El Salvador. I woke up like this. I've never been to El Salvador, guys. I have been to Mexico, though. Have I been to Spain? I was supposed to go to Spain, but I got ripped off by the Marine Corps. Thank you. Yes, for those who don't know, I'm sure everyone knows, I did 4 years active duty in the United States Marine Corps. Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, kill, kill, kill. We're out here on these streets. Hoorah, Semper Fi, kill, kill, kill. How can I help you? They put me in a place when I was 18. They didn't put me anywhere. I signed up. And when I did, they took me to a place. That's why the English language, guys, is so tricky. Loki loves the English language to me because it's so tricky. We say it. I said they put me in a place, right? They didn't put me nowhere. I fucking signed the line, all right? They took me to a place away from everybody I knew. They shaved my head. I had no communication with the outside world other than writing letters and a phone call I could make. I think when I first got there, I was allowed to call for like 5 minutes and tell them I made it and I'm alive. And then maybe a couple months in, I was allowed to make we had to line up to make phone calls that nobody even knew were coming in 1994. And you just had to hope they were home. When the best you could hope for if no one was home was an answering machine. Anyway, they put me in this place, guys. No, they took me to this place. I got to work on this because I'm working on this for a bit, so that's why I'm going over it. Thank you guys for being a witness. They took me to this place when I was 18, shaved my head away from everyone I knew. The only communication, I had limited communication, was only through writing letters and like 3 phone calls the whole time I was there. That were unplanned in the 90s. Sorry, guys. I can't even make phone calls work in 2025 that are fucking planned, okay? All right? Anyway, I gotta look back. See this? Anyway, so they put me in this place, and they had me repeat this word over and over again. They would give you commands, right? So when you first got there, they'd have you get dressed. You wake up in the morning, and they'd be like, you wouldn't be naked, but they'd be like, get naked or whatever. They're like, all right, put on your underwear now, 10, 9, 8, 7, skivvies or whatever. They're, all right, put on your shirt or whatever. You got a little t-shirt. Put on your shirt now, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All right, done. And then when you're done, like, no, sir, done. But every time they gave that command to do whatever, put on your left sock now, we'd all have to say, instead of like, you're supposed to say, aye, sir. But they gave us a word to say whenever they gave us a command. We have to repeat this word over and over again. It's a word I got to know very intimately, I'll tell you, because I'm a wordsmith. My last name is Smith, and I like words. And this is a word that I know I don't know it very well, but I got to know the word intimately. I've never performed this. It's a verb. I've never performed this action toward another person. Only animals, I guess, when you're eating and stuff. Anyway, the word's kill. All right, guys, the word's kill. You just say it over and over again. They're like, kill, get this now. You're like, kill, kill. Like, you're just like, all right, kill. All right, so you just say 3 months, you're going to kill, 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 over and over again. And now I lost my train of thought. Anyway, guys, it's okay. I'm fine. This is how we deal with it. All right, podcast. No, so I've done a lot of self-work. But that's the thing, like, even if you watch the movie Jarhead, he'll talk about that, and like they never give you the switch to turn it off. Now, I was an airplane mechanic. I never had to shoot anybody. Or I never even I never even had to shoot at anybody. So, I'm good. But also, that's a bit I'm working on, because I want to talk about how I'm different, or like, road rage incidents, or whatever. Not that I have road rage, but I'm just saying people, as I was thinking about the other day, somebody was like following really close, and I'm like, when you're following somebody really close, you don't know who's in that car. Like, you don't know who, like, you're throwing rocks at a tiger, that's sleeping, and you don't realize it. And there's not even a cage. There's just like, like a fucking curtain between you guys, and you're over there. You're like using a leaf blower, and there's a curtain on the other side. There's a sleeping lion. Anyway, what's it saying? Jesus Claus with the best attitude in all of YouTube. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, I think the secret. This universe is a giant ball busting machine. I think you guys get the idea of what I was talking about, poke the bear kind of thing. It's like, I was put in a place for 3 months, they told me to kill. And now you're riding my ass, dude, I don't want to do anything, but I have this voice inside of me that keeps going, kill, kill. No, that's not really the case, guys. Oh, there's like 2 giant vultures up there on a fucking... Man, this car simulation is crazy. On the light post, those were vultures as I was yelling kill. I mean, guys, it's time to take off the yellow colored glasses and look at reality for what it really is. And I think it's time to wrap up this lovely broadcast. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is how your real life works. Yes, it is. The love of my life, you know, in the eyes of God, we're already a unit, but we're making it official in the eyes of our family so they can witness it, our beautiful love soon. And I'm really excited. Thank you for bringing that up, Tony. You know, it's been a journey. That's what really this is about. I couldn't be where I am today and be this person with this amazing attitude if I didn't have my lovely wife with me, because I see, you know, self-work is one thing, and you can get to a point, and let me tell you, always love yourself no matter where you're at. It's not like I love myself more. I mean, I guess I could try to say I have more self-love, but what I'm saying is I don't hate past versions of myself or love them less now. You know, when I achieve more self-love, it's retroactive. It goes back to baby Brandon. You know, I give that baby Brandon, I pick him up. Something my wife told me. I've been going through some things lately. She's like, you know what, you stuck up for baby Brandon today. She's like, you know, all that shit that baby Brandon went through. Guys, I almost died in a fucking car fire when I was 5. I was in McDonald's and the car started to smoke in the parking lot. And then my dad was like, just stay here, I'm going to get help. And I was like, and I was with my little brother, and I'm like, I got a question. You know, Brandon's always had these uncomfortable questions, and it was like, shouldn't we get out of the car though? Like, I understand you want to go for help. I would too. But shouldn't we get out of the car though? And, you know, get a safe distance away from this car that's smoking as you get help? Or you're just gonna leave us here, seatbelted into a car? So needless to say, we got out of the car. I told that story recently, and someone's like, I remember that in the newspaper. I'm like, yeah, I've been making headlines, guys. I've been making headlines since the fucking early 80s. That must have been like 81. So, you know, guys. Anyway, so I in my mind, I picked up little baby Brandon. My mom gave me this amazing, shout out to my lovely mom. You know, she's the reason I'm here, and I love my mom so much. I'm so glad for everything she did for me. And, you know, she wasn't there for the fire. I don't blame my dad for it. Listen, he was freaking out. I get it. I'm just a level. I've always been a chill, cool. I was a cool, chill, level-headed 5-year-old that when a car started on fire, I didn't even freak out. I'm just like, hey, maybe it'd be a good idea if we got out. I don't know. Or I could just burn in this fire and try the next incarnation. Whatever's cool, dude. You know, like I was like that. But for a while, I was confused. I was running around a lot, and I thought the only way to be happy was to do things that weren't making me happy. It was really funny. And it happens to a lot of people. And now since I got through that, I feel like I just want to talk about it on YouTube. But my main message is to just be easy on yourself. So, yeah, anyway, I probably had another point, I think, that I was on that I lost. Oh, whatever, dude. Listen, tune in next time, and maybe you'll hear my point. Maybe I'll make a point next time. Maybe I won't just ask a bunch of questions and tell funny stories. Or maybe that's what the people like, so maybe that's what I'll keep doing. I don't know. You guys got to leave comments and let me know what you think. Comments, thumbs up, you know. Let me know what you want to hear me talk about. Should we talk about how the moon is made out of cheese, and if you don't go there with crackers? Let me try that again. Take 2. And action. Should we talk about how the moon is made out of cheese, and if you go there without crackers, you are totally insane? You know, I get it. You're gluten-free. Listen, it's a fucking cracker. You have a little bit of the poison, right? Doesn't that was supposed to? You have a little bit of the poison that desensitizes you. Anyway, I'm not making claims. I'm just joking. Don't eat gluten if you're gluten intolerant. Don't do anything I say. Don't try. Don't do anything. Do everything. I don't know what to tell you. Why are you asking me for advice? Look at me. What are you, crazy? You guys are amazing. This has been so much fun. I love that I could just turn this on and be an absolute maniac, and that you guys love it. It really, because you know, my wife loves it too, because then it's less that I have to be an absolute maniac around her. Although she loves when I'm an absolute maniac, you can see how too much of it might be, you know, I get it. Oh, I do remember one thing I was saying about, I'll finish this point and then I'll go. Way back earlier in that episode, and if you listen to this whole thing, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I do, you know, I get it. There's a lot of things you can be listening to. But anyway, pointing out the thing I was talking about earlier was like stand-up comedy, you know, when in doing this, when no one's watching or whatever, you put out stuff and you write a blog post and no one comments, right? No one even likes it, right? I've been through these things. It's not a big deal to me. I'm not complaining, of course. What I was saying earlier was, for me, I don't care. Like, I guess I have this huge ego. What am I going to do, right? for me, it's the most important thing that needs to be talked about. That's why I'm talking about it. I don't feel an obligation or guilt to talk about anything else, because I don't feel like we have to save the world, or I don't feel guilt towards something I did to somebody. Now I have to talk about why you shouldn't do that, you know? I feel like, and this isn't a judgment, it's just people confused, because I was doing this. There's a lot of that out there on YouTube. People will tell you how to do it because they did it a different way, and they swear this is the best way, or whatever, you know? Maybe I'm doing that too. Well, I guess to a degree I am doing that. I'm not perfect, guys, right? I am perfect, but I'm not tooting my own horn. All I'm saying is I'm great. But that's the giant ego that I have, right? But all it is really like a self-love thing. I know that my stuff is worth something, at least to me. And the more that I do it, the better I get. So I can even look at that as that. So it's a cool concept that my friend comedian Pat Oates told me. He's like, you know, no comedy show ever matters. It's always really about the next show. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't enjoy yourself in the moment. No, feel in the moment. Have fun. Enjoy the comedy show you're doing. You're doing comedy, enjoy it. But don't then say, I killed it, it was great. You know, from a self-love point of view, I did a good job. People laughed. It was great. But you're not going around bragging and talking, right? You're more focused on how you can make what you did better for the next time to bring joy to more people. It's more about that stuff. So you're focused there. So like even when I bomb, people are like, what's it like to bomb? And I'm like, that's hilarious. Because I said something that I thought was funny and they just didn't fucking get it. So to me it was funny. Or I just said something offensive and they were offended and only half the people laughed. So for me that's worth it. But going forward in my comedy, I'm going to try to make everybody laugh, because why not? Why deprive everybody of a good belly laugh? It's like I'm judging them if I only make comedy for a certain group of people that only get this. Because that's what a lot of comedians are like. And I'm not speaking specifically about any online comedians. I'm just talking about when I used to do open mics between 2013 to 2020. Well, 2013 to 2018 more seriously. And a gradual decline. Actually, gradually declined from 2016 down to 20. But anyway, I was doing them really nonstop there for a good 5 years. 4 or 5 years. I noticed that some comedians would do like highbrow stuff, or like highbrow, right, more intelligent, or have these jokes not everyone would get, or whatever. And at the end of the day, you're really just judging the other people for being stupid, and you don't want to make them laugh, and you think that they're stupid for not laughing, which is cool. I was like that, so. But now I want to make everyone laugh. I watch because you have a good, positive take on it all, brother. Thank you. Yeah, well, it's funny you say that I have a good, positive take. And it really it only comes from accepting the negative as being a thing, just accepting that negative is there. And in this realm, we need positive and negative to exist. And they're really not even two things. They're just the different sides of one thing, or you could even say at a point, right? So I just have a view, and it doesn't always happen. I'm not always Brandon Bonanza you get on this. You know, listen, sometimes Don Kane comes out, my alter ego, and I'm like, yo, what the F? You know, like, I had an incident yesterday where I sent some colorful text messages, nothing really terrible, but I just had work the night before, and then I had some people trying to get a hold of me that had known I'd worked the night before, and I'm like, guys, like, you know, just chill, dude. You're going to deal with daytime. You're going to deal with morning Brandon in a minute. But it was cool. So just so you guys know, you know. But it really, the overall way I try to look at it is to just look, and it's not even it started off by looking at everything as positive, right? Or looking at the positive in anything, looking at the silver lining. But then it turned into just accepting the darkness for what it is and not judging it, and just knowing that there is a plan. And I can't see right now. You know, right now, Gandalf just got, his leg just got pulled by the Balrog, and it got sucked down into a fucking chasm in the middle of Moria. Khazad-dûm! You know, like, we think he's dead, we're crying, but no, we don't know that he comes back all white and glorious. I mean, come on, he comes back white, you know? What better could you be asked for if you're not white and you die and you come back white? It's like you hit the lotto. Just kidding, everybody. I don't even see color. I really confuse. And I'm not saying it because I'm on. I confuse people. I'll be like, oh, it was that black guy. And they're like, no, Joe's white. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's that ego thing again. I'm so in my head, I don't even know what color people are. That's why I think it's funny. Racism to me is hilarious. I'm like, wait, you pay attention to look and see what color they are? They're lucky I'm even listening to them, though. No matter who they are. Anyway. Thank you guys again, though, for checking this out. Yo, what's up, Rico? I'm just ending this, man. I'm in my AI car studio. That's amazing, and it got me all the way to work. So now I gotta load sound equipment and head to a place and play music for the people and be an amazing dancer. I'm not a tiny dancer. I'm a giant dancer. Hold me closer, giant dancer. Hold me closer, giant dancer. No, thank you, Elton John. You're an okay singer and songwriter, but I'm good. Hold me closer, giant dancer. Yeah, my voice is fucking half gone too. You can tell I DJ'd so much this weekend, and now I'm going to do it more. But today is like a corporate thing. I don't have to like do announcements. I don't think I might just have to talk and say things. I don't have to introduce anybody and be all fancy with my voice. I'm so fancy already. Hold me closer, giant dancer. It's so close I can't get it. All right, guys, I really gotta go. You guys are the best. Love you, much love, and I shall see you when I see you. I don't know, man. They don't make it easy to end these, do they? I don't know. Oh, I gotta hit the X. All right, guys. Morelawsmoreproblems.com. It wouldn't be a podcast with me on it if I didn't say those words. Go to that website. I've had it up since 2013. Guys, I started right before I was doing comedy at the same time, so it's been up for 12 years now. Go check it out, all right? And yeah, I love you. Peace out. Peace out, Cub Scouts.